What's up everybody, Tiakim here with Story at Quilting. Now in today's tutorial, we are going to be making the crisscross quilt that you see behind me using only one Vega strip. Let's get started. Now before we dive on into this, what we've wanted to do here is there's lots of times that you're picking up a Vega strip that may have 12 pieces in it or 14 pieces in it. What do you do with those kinds of Vega strips? Now we've created this pattern behind us that only takes 20 Vega strips total. Or maybe that you're working on a project and you have some leftovers. This is a great way to use them all up and it comes out to be a beautiful quilt. Or if you pick out a Vega strip like the one you see in front of me, where it has equal lights and darks, you can also make this entire quilt using just one pack of Vega strips. So first and foremost, let's pop this thing open and we're going to divide them into lights and darks. I'm gonna call it to here, because most of our strip packs here are set up to be in gradation from light to dark. So in this tutorial, I'll be making one complete quilt block. However, you're just gonna repeat the process to make as many as you like. And also, if you wanna use two different Vega strips to make it even larger, you can as well. So let's just first dive into this. I'm gonna use this nice white color here, and I'm gonna use one of the dark purples. Actually, I wanna use the one in the very back. I think that one's pretty. So now that we've separated them into darks and lights, let's jump into the cutting instructions. Now, the cutting instructions are the same for both the dark and the light. Because if you look at the quilt blocks, they're inverted blocks. We've got a colored block and then a background block, colored block, background block, colored block. So they're just inverted back and forth. So we need the exact same material in both the light and the dark. You need to cut two 2.5 by 11 inch rectangles. Additionally, you need to cut four 2.5 by 7.5 inch rectangles, two 2.5 by 3.5 inch rectangles, and a 3.5 inch square out of both. So because they're exactly the same, I can double stack these, which I'm going to. Now, because I know I need a 2.5 inch by 11.5 inch and like a 2.5 inch by 7.5 inch, I'm gonna go ahead and cut a strip that's 2.5 inches wide. And then I will get my 3.5 off this other side. So let me grab a ruler. While I'm here, I might as well get my 3.5 inch strip. So I'm gonna do that next. So I've got my 3.5, I got my 2.5. Now I need to cut my 2.5. I will not get all the pieces that I need off of this one 2.5 inch strip, but it'll be close, so let's go ahead and do that. And I want to get my largest piece first. Now I need a 7.5 inch strip. So that is really all the waste off of that, very minimal. I'm still missing two 7.5 by 2.5 inch strips, which we're gonna cut off of this in just 1 second. I need 2.5 by 3.5 inch strip, which is that. And then I need a 3.5 inch square. And lastly, because I still have this piece here, I'm gonna go ahead and subcut down to be 7.5, lob off one side to make it 2.5 by 7.5, which is our missing piece here. So that right there is the waste of my project. Not very much, and it's a nice sized piece. Then, like I said, we're going to trim this down to be 2.5 inches wide. So guys, at this point, it's time to kind of assemble our block here. Now I like to do everything visually, I like to lay it all out, but we're gonna be assembling two blocks at the same time, the light version and the dark version here. Now they both start out with a center square, purple here. I'm gonna use my white on this side here. Essentially this is a quartzite step block that's been altered just a little bit. But all we have to do is build around it, much like a log cabin as well. So I'm gonna put purple above my white, and I'm gonna put white above my purple. Then for here, we're going to add the exact opposite color in. So I'm gonna add my purple to this side, purple to this side, then my white on this side over here. Okay, you can see it starting to form here. Then my purple goes onto my white, and my white is going to go on my print block. We're going to keep building this thing out, one more piece here. So my purple is going to go from side to side, and my white will do the same right here. So as I begin to sew this, it's going to be simple blocks of construction. Center is going to be put on top and bottom, side to side, top and bottom, side to side, much like a log cabin or a quartzite steps block. Now before we get into the sewing, guys, if you liked the video so far, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't be afraid to share it with your friends. And as always, there's a free PDF pattern down in the description below. And while you're there, check out storyatquilting.com where you can pick yourself up a Vega strip. Let's finish off this block. Now a crucial step in making a block like this is the ironing process. Make sure you're always ironing, flattening out those seams, because it'll help you. Because if there's any kind of mistake in how you're ironing or just leaving it to kind of do whatever, it compounds because of how many different pieces are in this that build off of each other. So make sure you're ironing, and iron well. And guys, I will always put my block back down to make sure everything's lining up correctly. Does. Let's move on to the next one. So now it's time to put on both sides. Final pieces being put on here, just the left and the right side left. Let's finish this. And guys, just like that, our quilt block is done. Not only that, we were able to finish 2 in this video. Look how pretty this one came out, but the inverted version, just as cool. Now, as always guys, if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't be afraid to share it with your friends. And also guys, down in the description area, there is a free PDF pattern of this quilt behind me. That way you can print it off and follow along at home. And additionally, while you're down there, make sure you're checking out SoyaQuilting.com where you can pick yourself up a wonderful Vega strip. And with that guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.